Hey there guys, and happy whatever day it is that you are watching this video. So firstly, I want to say Happy New Year. It's the first video of 2024 and I was going to do one at Christmas, but I'd left my kettle at my parents' house and Christmas passed and well, here we are in the new year. But today's going to be a good one, and I say that every time, but you know, it is a good one every time. But today's is a little bit different because I'm going to be talking about a coffee from Roastology. And as you know, I did work for them before, but I don't work for them now. And I left just before this coffee came out, so I think it's okay to talk about it because now I can taste it as a customer rather as somebody who worked there. But I'm looking forward to sharing it with you and talking about it and kind of telling you my thoughts on the first coffee of the Roastology Reserve range. So kick back, grab yourselves a coffee and get comfy because this is the first coffee of 2024, and thank you for joining me on Today I Brewed. So, as I said, you know, as I'm not working for them anymore, I feel like it gives me license to talk about this coffee in a much more unbiased way, as it would if I was still working for them and just trying to promote the coffee. As I said, it's the first coffee in the Roastology Reserve range, and this coffee was kind of in production while I was there, but it really got done after I'd left. Do I smell a conspiracy? Only joking. But I'm really excited about it because it tasted delicious when I tried it a while ago, but now I've had time to tinker with it and play around with different grind sizes and kind of really pull the flavours out and kind of get the best out of it. So let's talk about the coffee. It is a Colombian Geisha, and as we all know, geishas are really good coffees. They excel in so many ways, and for a long time they were used all the time in the Barista Championships, and since they've been accessible, I guess, on the wider market, a lot of people have been able to kind of taste these exceptional coffees at home and kind of get the same joy that people were getting in competitions a little while ago. The great thing about these is they just are pretty good all-rounders. They have so many good qualities and they always make an excellent cup. You'll notice here that I'm using a Chemex today. I ran out of V60 papers, which I only realised as I was about to brew this coffee. So I haven't yet tried it on the Chemex, but I have a soft spot for Chemex because I think it tastes better than a V60, personally. So let's get into it. So the coffee comes from Colombia, and it comes from the Planadas region. And the farmer is Camillo and Ciso. Apologies again if I've pronounced his name wrong. And it's a micro lot coffee. I believe there was only 175 kilograms produced of this particular geisha, so it's quite nice that there is some here for me to drink, and that the guys at the roastery were able to get a hold of some. It's been processed using anaerobic fermentation, and that means that there's some enhanced flavours in there due to the fermentation process. And I can definitely say, even though it is fermented, the ferment that I've complained about much in the past isn't as present here, which is great. And then, you know, the coffee is grown at about 1,875 metres above sea level. It has a cupping score of 87.5, so we know it's up there, we know it's got good characteristics, and it tastes good to those who have scored it. And the farm is El Trunfo. Gosh, didn't I sound so British saying that? And the tasting notes on the cup are caramelised, it's orange, strawberries, sweet aromatics, and vanilla. And I can definitely say that even in reading those tasting notes, it sounds like something that is right up my avenue of flavour profiles. And it reminded me straight away, in looking at those notes, like it will have kind of like a wine gummy type of flavour, fruit pastel, that type of thing. And I was excited. I was super excited for this one. So let's talk about it. Let's get into the process. Let's get into what it was like when it was brewing and grinding. And excitedly, when it was grinding, my foresight of thinking wine gums was pretty spot on. The fruitiness came out straight away as the coffee was grinding, and there was such a brightness. That orange was there, and definitely the strawberry. And it was a great mix. It was a real fruity mix of aromas, and it was so light as it ground, and the sensory experience just on the grinds alone was superb. I didn't get much of the vanilla initially, but that's fine. We don't get all the tasting notes straight away, I don't think. But they did start to appear a lot more when the coffee was brewing. And I don't know if you can see it quite as well as you would in the V60, but the bloom was spectacular. It was very light, but it was full, and the aromas came bursting out superbly. There was definitely a lot of vanilla in the brew, and the strawberries and the orange were absolutely there as well, slightly underneath the vanilla, but there, and enough to get me excited about what this is going to taste like when it's finished. And I was just super excited, like really excited for this one. Now, because we're in a Chemex today, I think we can talk about the differences ever so slightly between the Chemex and V60. So the Chemex papers are generally thicker. It slows down the extraction a bit more, and it takes out more of the body because there's a thicker paper to go through. Some people say it's not as bright as the V60, and to some degree I agree. But what I like about the Chemex particularly is the narrowness of the kind of chute where the coffee falls through. It's the same reason that I love the narrower baskets on Ale Spaziale, because I believe that I feel in tasting that the narrower and kind of less coverage there is allows for a more direct extraction, which for me gives a better flavour. I know people are going to disagree, and that's fine, but for me, and what I like about coffee, narrower stuff seems to produce better flavour, better tasting coffee. So now that the coffee's here, and it's sat nicely cooled for a few minutes, why don't we see what it's like here? And as you can see, coffee in a Chemex just looks fantastic. I'm definitely getting the vanilla in the aroma there. And that strawberry and orange is just floating nicely, and I definitely get that sense of wine gum. Like, it's so juicy just on the aroma, and feels like I'm opening a packet of sweets. And that can never be a bad thing when it comes to coffee. Sweet aromatics is definitely a great descriptor. So let's give it a taste. Well, that is just a darn tootin' good cup. It's super light in the mouth. It's got such a smooth body to it. And I would definitely say a caramelized body. That sweetness is definitely there overall. The vanilla is right in the middle, I think. Strawberry and orange are kind of either side there. But it's a real nice mix of tasting notes, and I'm definitely getting in the mouth that wine gum that I kind of picked up earlier in the week on the V60, but it's so juicy, and the finish is clean. Like, I don't even know if I have a comparison for how clean that is, but it's fantastic. It's a really smooth coffee. I really like it, and as an added bonus, I tried it as an espresso, and a special one for Steve. It was surprisingly good as an espresso. In the espresso, the acidity and brightness was super prevalent, and I'd recommend it as well as the Chemex and V60. But I love it. I absolutely love it, and I'm glad that I've been able to taste it as a customer and not an employee, because I feel like I'm tasting it how it's meant to taste and not what I think it should taste like. But it is a beautiful cup, and even though there is only a small amount produced, you can tell how good it is. That doesn't really make any sense, but hopefully you know what I mean. But yeah, nothing but good things to say about it. Just smooth, clean and fruity. Like life should be, I think. So that's the first coffee of 2024. I hope after seeing this, people go and buy it and, you know, give the guys at my former work some love and taste the quality that is there. The cool thing is, in the reserve range, you get these cool little cards. And there's a nice picture of the farmer there, who the head of coffee, Steve Hampshire, has been out and met, which kind of led to the coffee being bought. There will be more of these, and because this is the first Roastology Reserve, the card says number 1 on it, and I believe my box was 9 out of 100. I did get this before Christmas, and I've just kind of let it sit for a little while, because I love coffee just to sit for a few weeks, which I definitely said before. But good job, guys. Coffee's fantastic, and I hope other people get to drink it and taste all the qualities that I've tasted as well. So if you haven't got a coffee, go get yourselves one. Put your feet up and relax. And thank you for joining me on today's Today I Brewed.